Hey everybody, today I want to go over a question that I get asked a lot, and it's one that causes confusion for many small business owners. If you're starting a business or if you already started a business, there are multiple ways of dealing business in the world. You can actually start without having to incorporate, and that would be a sole proprietorship. There's no legal form of entity. You're just operating as yourself most of the time. I want to segue into two most common types of entity structures and operating structures, which is an LLC and an S corporation. Let's transition right now into the tax benefits and the tax implications of operating under both entities. A single member LLC, SM, you're the only owner of this entity. It's similar to being a sole proprietorship, but with a legal entity, you may have some more protection. You're reporting all the activity, the income and expenses on your personal Schedule C of the 1040. Many people make the quick jump to an S corporation when they're not ready. Now, when do we want to jump from an LLC to an S Corp? Now, an LLC, a single member LLC, would be a great idea if you're first starting out. You're going to keep the costs low because you're operating this as a Schedule C. This reports on your 1040. One tax return. It's a pass-through entity. It's disregarded. It's as though you didn't open up anything. So you just file it on your personal tax return. If you're jumping to an S corporation, you're actually creating a whole new system of checklists that you have to fulfill because now you're operating as an S corporation. Let's talk about how we get from an LLC to an S Corp. You file a form, the 2553. That's the S election with the IRS. Some states also require a state filing. In New York, that's called CT-6. That's the state S election form. New York City has its own set of rules. It actually doesn't recognize S corporations, and you're required to pay New York City corporate tax rates if you're an S corporation. If you're creating this S corporation, you just created a second tax return every single year. That's the 1120S. You have also just mandated payroll. Now you have to pay yourself payroll. Let's outweigh this. So you have a single member LLC. Let's say you made 50K in year one. If you keep it as a single member LLC, this is your gross income, 50K year one. You may have expenses that'll bring this down to 25. This is a small number. If you have no other income coming in, you have $13,850 as a standard deduction. What happens at the end of the day? This is 11K. You're paying taxes twofold on 11K, which is roughly 10%, so that's $1,000. And you're also paying 15.3% of self-employment tax on this $25,000 piece. You're paying $3,750. On the S Corp side, this may be fairly similar. You're in New York City, for example, that may not make sense. You're also paying more money to facilitate everything else. So you have to file an 1120S, you have to do payroll for the entire year. It may end up costing you more, even if you minimize that salary of $25,000. Even if you minimize that salary to minimize the FICA tax, you still may end up paying more for servicing this thing, more than the $3,750 just for servicing the S Corp. That's why it's important to have an advisor to speak to understand when it is a good time to actually move in to an S corporation. There are also some tax strategies that are available within an S Corp compared to an LLC. But again, we have to look at the timing. We also have to look at basis issues. We have a lot of single member LLC owners that started their company with loans. If you're a single member LLC and you guarantee that loan, you have what's called at-risk basis. And you can deduct the entire loss on your income tax return that year. In an S corporation, you can't do that. There are lots of different things that you have to analyze before making this simple decision and application, and that's when you can benefit working with a tax professional, tax planner. Get a qualified consultation when you're making these big decisions. The few $100s that you may spend on a consultation is well worth it. Trust me, it's going to be much less of a headache. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found this educational, learned something new. And really, if you guys want anything else, comment below. We'll be happy to address it on another video.